Welcome, my dear pupils of Primary 6 to yet another lesson. This is your teacher, Joseph, and I'm glad that you have found time to join me for yet another English lesson. Now, last week we started by looking at the plural of common compound nouns. Compound nouns, plural of common compound nouns. And so we want to build our lesson on that. Look at the plural, singular and the plural form of common nouns. So in this week, let us continue with another one. Now we are saying that there are some singular common nouns that end in O. Remember the other ones we last looked at those nouns. We looked at those nouns that end in. Remember those nouns that end in Y, but followed by a vowel. We said that those ones just take on S to form their plural. Now today we want to look at this other group that end in O. They end in O, and for these ones, they take on es to form their plural. But you have to be observant because not all of them fall in this category. Not all of them. So let us look at those ones. Example: look at the word mango, mangoes; tomato, tomatoes; mosquito, mosquitoes; echo, echoes; hero, heroes; cargo. These, cargo. Those are goods. Then we have and very many others. Then there are again this other group, the one I've told you, that for them they end in a O, but again they don't take on es. For them they take on s. They just flatly take on s. Example: we have photo. One is a photo. Very many are photos. In mathematics, we have always been looking at the word ratio, ratios. Kangaroo, kangaroos. Eskimo, eskimos. Eskimos are people who live in they migrated from they live in cold areas like Iceland. They were always called Eskimos, but these days they are called Inuits. They are called Inuits. They are called Inuits. And for those ones, the Inuits, since they live in these very cold places, they only build houses that are made of ice. They build houses which are made of ice. So for you here, your house, the house you are living in right now, they put up bricks and then cement and then sand, and then they called in a build, and then this person started building. But with the Eskimos, before they were called Eskimos, these days they are called Inuits. Inutis, Inuits. They are called Inuits. Now these Inuits, for them now, they since they live in these very cold areas, like in Iceland, or in Canada, they also have those areas that are very cold. They construct houses. They live in houses. And these houses are called igloos. The one down here, the last word down here, igloo. An igloo is a house built out of what? Snow. So one is an igloo. Very many are igloos. And then we have Viego to Vigos. Then we have bamboo to bamboos. We have dynamo to dynamos. There are quite many. We cannot, like I said, we cannot exploit all of them here. But when teacher sets a trend, you also follow up. Go pick it up and then continue. Look at very many others. You have dictionaries around you. Search them up. We are not going to have a full lesson on only one type of a lesson. When we try to explain, to you how plurals of certain words or how certain things are formed, so that you are able to learn. Let us look at that. We are saying singular common nouns that end in O. These ones end in O. They end in O. But for them, when they end in O and deal with music, simply take on S. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have to deal with music, but you'll find that majority of those that play around with music, most of them, they just take on S in their plural. We are now going to look at words like piano. Hmm? Look at that: radio, radios; video, videos; studios; piano, pianos; disco; solo. Solo, that means somebody singing. You are part of a group and now you have gone alone. So when you are alone, no, when you are looking at these words here, they end with O, they end in O, just like the other ones. But only that for them, they only take on, they take on S to form their plural. So this is something that you should actually, by saying that these that deal with music, that just simply take on S, is because they just want you to be able to remember that when they bring anything to do with radio, you say, music, that is S; piano, oh, music, that is S; studio, music, that is S; piano, like that. So it is easier for you to recall. Please take note of this. Let us also continue. Another one is singular common nouns that end with F or FE. They end in F or FE. These ones drop the F. They drop the F, or we leave out the F and FE. And these F and FE change to V before we add ES. Meaning that when we drop the F or the FE, we are going to take on VES. We'll take on VES, and that's what we call, that is what we are saying, that that's where somebody will say, where is the V coming from? The V is coming out of the dropping of the F. So let us look at these examples. We have wife. One is a wife, very many are wives. One is a loaf, very many are loaves. One is a knife, very many are knives. One is a thief, very many are thieves. One is a leaf, very many are leaves. One is a self, you talk about myself, self, and then selves. So if we are I can say myself, ourselves, herself, themselves, life, lives, calf, calves, half, halves, wolf, wolves, shelf, shelves. So these ones end in F or FE. If you are to look at that wife, it has FE, then we have knife, FE, and then the other ones end in F. But those ones, for them, they change. They change to V, then we add ES. However, we also know that not all of them deal in this. So in our next lesson, the lesson that will follow, please take more interest in others that don't fall in this category. Please, P6, I've tried to upload work. The P7 members are returning the work. If you do not understand how to download this work, actually you don't need to download, because when you go into your classroom and then you go to stream, when you go to stream, it will show you the assignment that has been presented. When you go to classroom or stream, it will show you the assignment that has been presented. Go to that assignment, click on it. When you click on it, it will ask you it will open it up somewhere, not where that thing is, but it will open it somewhere where you are able to edit. Because in my work here, I usually say I usually enable you. There's a tool here where I enable you to edit. So I enable you to edit this work. So when I enable you to edit, the moment you open it, you'll be able to edit it. That means you are able to write in it. So look at that work, write in it. And when you write in it, you again attach it back and return it to me. And when you attach it back, it will be attached immediately. And I will see it as a whole work, not you picking out one number, because it does not help at all. Is that okay? Thank you very much. Until then, this is teacher Joseph.